This is StormReel, a podcast about the intersection of people and weather, hosted by storm chasers Jeremy Heyman and me, Gabe Cox. And we're rolling.
Okay. I don't even remember what I say at the start. What do I say? It's been
welcome
so
to
long.
StormReel. Yeah, we got to come up with energy for the last one.
Okay. I say welcome to StormReel.
I think so.
Okay, just
The
include all
podcast
this.
about people and or weather. Yeah, people and weather.
Just include all this. How about? Okay, but I'll do it. But
It's
I'll
been
still do
so
the intro. Hey, welcome to StormReel, the podcast about the intersection of people and weather. I am your host, Jeremy Heyman, joined by my co-host, Gabe Cox. How you doing, Gabe?
Oh, Jeremy, I'm in a bittersweet mood for this episode.
Yeah, me too, man. I get it. This is a little bit of a different episode. In the new year, it's 2026 as we're recording right now, and got through the holidays to the other side. We're in deep winter now across the nation. In Colorado here, it's been a tropical winter, really weird, no snow whatsoever, very strange, lots of dry wind. But yeah, that kind of matches the vibe right now in the podcast, kind of a weird winter. So yeah, this episode's a little different. We're coming to y'all listeners with an announcement of sorts. After this season back, which was wonderful, Gabe and I were reflecting the other night. We were just catching up, talking about life and talking about the direction of things, where we're going in our personal lives and our creative lives, and just thinking about the podcast and wondering, hey, is this where we want to be pouring our creative energy into the future? I guess we both kind of came to the conclusion that I don't know if this is the avenue that we want to create anymore. Both of us are avid and active creators of different media. But yeah, I'm just feeling that I think we're going to be putting the podcast to bed. Maybe not forever, but for at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, is that sum it up? Is that how you're feeling too, Gabe?
Yeah, I think you summed it up well. Yeah, it's not that we don't enjoy the conversations we've had and the guests we've had. That's been super fun. And that's something that we talked about a couple of days ago. That's the fun part. That's the part I could do all day long. Mm-hmm. Just catching up, chatting with people, nerding out about the weather, getting to meet different people via the podcast who we've seen in the storm chasing world. That's been so much fun. Yeah. But, pouring the 8 to 10 hours per episode of pre-production and production and post-production, that's the stuff that's been kind of a drain on all these other avenues that we've been looking towards personally, just individually. Yeah. And also, as far as our families, that's time away from them. It's a different stage of life. I think for me personally, I decentralized weather from my life the past couple of years, and it's actually been really refreshing. And I never thought I would say that. I think 11-year-old me would be screaming right now hearing that, but it's been really good, putting it back in its place and actually getting back to a place where I was at 11, where there was more awe and wonder behind it and less responsibility. I think that's what storm chasing and the weather, anything weather related, became just a job. And taking the last couple of years off and stepping back allowed me to see what I had become and that the joy was sucked out of it. And I think by extension, the podcast was starting to become that. And I think you and I both kind of came to the conclusion that we didn't want to reach a point where we resented it. Right. We wanted to leave on a high note. And it's been so fun. The 3 seasons, when I look back at it, I'm really proud of what we did, what we accomplished, and the people that we got to connect with. Super fun. Like I'm still talking to people who were our guests. I've gotten phone numbers and connected with folks, and I see them on the side of the road when I do go out storm chasing, and that's super fun. And that's the stuff that's priceless that came out of it. But yeah, I think there's more to both of us than podcasters and weather nerds. Like there's other things we love and want to pursue and want to make time for. And I think we both came to the conclusion that 2026 was going to be a year of creativity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that conversation, that catch up we had the other night, we could just sense, like we met to literally talk about the podcast and what we wanted to do next, but we found ourselves just like, feeling a bit more excited about some other creative ventures. And that was just like, we were chatting about those a little bit more enthusiastically. And you and I were just like reading the room, and we were like, hey, like we're not talking about the podcast as much. Or maybe we're avoiding this conversation or whatever, but, to put a more positive spin on it, there were things that were exciting us a little bit more. And I'm really learning about creativity. I've been a creative person, my entire life in different avenues and stuff, but it really is like a cyclical, seasonal thing being a creative person. And there's seasons where you're creating aggressively and actively, and it's amazing and you're on fire. And then there's seasons where, I have to lay low a little bit more and kind of gain my energy back. And prepare for the next creative push. So the things I found myself talking about were my painting, and kind of visual arts and creativity there, and something I've done since high school and really loved doing and growing in. And 2025 for me was like, kind of for the first time ever painting with oil paints. And that being like an exciting new venture. I'd always painted with watercolors and acrylics. And so like this new medium, that had intimidated me for years and years, I finally dove into it and started creating in that way. And I've just thought of like, I want to like sign up for some art fairs locally here in Colorado and just get out there, meet other artists, meet enjoyers of art, maybe sell a thing or two here, like very low expectations there. But that's what's kind of the spark that's glowing and growing inside of me, is a desire to direct some energy there. And I love it. Yeah. So that feels exciting and interesting, and invigorating. And to me, that's what creativity is all about, is following that passion, the thing that gives me the most excitement at the moment. And like I said, that changes. It'll change in a year or 6 months or whatever, but, I've got to chase that specific passion down. And like you said, Gabe, I have a family, young kids, and dad, duties, which are a wonderful and truly like a gift. But they take up a huge portion of my time as well. So, I want to pour into those relationships and those responsibilities as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and like you said, Gabe, I think I'm just like filled with gratitude for our listeners, for our guests. Yes. We've created like a really beautiful catalog of interviews and stories that will live on, it'll keep going. Like that's not going anywhere. And maybe someday my daughters will want to listen to their dad talk to meteorologists and storm chasers and my friends. And, that's a really, really, really sweet thing too. That will live on, and continue on. It's a scrapbook that'll live on the internets as long as the internet's still around. Right. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. And that's kind of, funny enough, I mean, I said that jokingly, but it's kind of the shifting landscape of storm chasing and the podcast world and social media. Like all of that played into it too. That was part of the conversation we had. Like things are changing, and they're changing fast. For different reasons, but all of those avenues, like all that plays into our podcast heavily. And those are all landscapes that are changing dramatically. And, I'm 41, like that's not really something I care to evolve with as much, to some regard. Yeah. But, as far as the storm chasing thing and reinventing myself, like that sounds exhausting at this point in my life. Like I'm super grateful for everything that I got to do with storm chasing. I can't believe, looking back, like in hindsight, all of the things that I got to do in my storm chasing career, like it's just unbelievable. The majority of my checklist, like bucket list as a kid of things that I wanted to see, extreme weather events and, close range encounters, like those are all things I got to do, down to like riding out a Category 5 hurricane, which is nuts. I never thought I'd be able to do that. So it's, I'm at a point in my life where I've like, I checked, like that was a super crazy, adventurous, stressful, but fun run to be able to do that and to be able to provide footage for documentaries. And, we've discussed on this season, I got to see my footage up on the big screen, which was, I never even said it out loud, but deep down, that was a hope of mine, was to see my footage on the big screen. To have it featured in Twisters and the closing credits was crazy. So I can look back and just be totally satisfied with that chapter of my life. Now, that being said, still a weather nerd at heart, and I can't help but get excited when I see storm clouds nearby. But, there's the thought of trying to reinvent myself to pursue it as a career doesn't interest me. I'll definitely go out locally for sure. I'm partnered with a local news station here, KXAN, and I'll keep providing them images and keeping our community up to date on stuff that comes through. And maybe I'll do chasecations and hit the plains again, right around. But yeah, I think the thought of not doing it as a career actually sounds really nice. Like there's a bit of me that just feels a weight off my shoulders when I think through that, and just like, hey, I'm going to pursue it in a way that's enjoyable and removes some of the stress behind it. It's always going to be a stressful hobby or career, but doing it in a way that's just more enjoyable. I think that thought excites me. Yeah. And then being able to pursue other things. So you mentioned you're getting deeper into your art, and there are different art forms that I'm pursuing now that I've set storm chasing aside, and going to be making space with the podcast being set aside as well. So really, really getting back into music production. That's something that was always like life-giving to me. A way that I really dealt with depression and trauma growing up, and it continues to be that. So again, taking those 2 years off, I needed to do it for mental health reasons. Music came in and was as important, if not more important, than going to therapy. So dancing and music and that kind of stuff, like really, and you and I talked about this on our call, like that brought so much healing that was unexpected. Physically, I was releasing stress, emotionally, I was releasing all of that. And there was a spiritual element to it that kind of caught me off guard. And it was just kind of this whole approach to healing that I wasn't looking for, but that kind of smacked me in the face when I started to embrace music again. So there's that I want to do, enjoying it, but also creating my own, starting to dive back into music production, which is really fun. I was doing that a lot in high school and early years of college. That's been super fun. And also film's another one that that was my career before storm chasing, and that's what actually opened the door for storm chasing was my film career. So getting back to the heart of that, and telling stories and sharing stories, that's really exciting. And that's what we did here on the podcast was finding and sharing stories, and that excites me. But doing it through the lens of filmmaking is getting me excited. And even this week was the first time in years that I got excited about a film idea. Heard the story And it got me excited, and I was I've been just daydreaming about, wow, what would that look like to be a documentary? You know, how could we tell this story in a really powerful way, because it's such a poignant and timely message.
Totally.
So having those thoughts now that I'm like clearing space to be able to even think about that stuff has been really exciting.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, man, I'm excited for you for sure. And just hearing, you know, we talk about making art and enjoying things like you've had music and weather, you know, your whole life. I've had art making and weather my whole life. So it's like the connected thread between us, right, has been weather always. And, you know, we started chasing together in 2012, 2013, right? Like
2012, yeah.
Like 15, or, you know, close to 15 years ago. And a lot has changed in the world since then. And the weather chasing world has just exploded. Like, it's such a huge community now. And there's so many different ways to show weather, you know, live weather and capture it and talk about it. And we've kind of got to see this like amazing arc. But like you said, you know, it's like, oh, we're like the old guys now. And it's okay. Like, that's okay to phase out of that. And not be a part of that anymore. And it's like, that's good. I think at the end of the day is to continue to move along and, move out of that to a degree. And, man, I'm just excited for you. I'm excited to hear what you cook up music wise and man, that's, I don't know, just to continue to be your friend and to be like, instead of a creative partner, more of like a creative friendship, right? Where we are both encouraging each other in our own creative endeavors. And cause we still need that. Like, we're not going to stop being friends.
100%. Yeah.
You know, we're going to double down, honestly, and like, and be like, no, like, we can't create alone, because that's isolating and recipe for, I don't know, burning out. And it's creating with a hand tied behind your back too, because just creative feedback and inspiration just through conversation is a huge part of the creative process. Interesting 100%. Note too on the music side of things. So one of my goals for 2026 was, you know what, I'm just going to start throwing stuff out into 2026 to see what sticks. And one of those things was reaching out to Orograph, who was the artist behind our intro and outro song. He was super kind to let us use it. Found out he was in Austin, reached out to him, and pretty immediately heard back from him. And he was out for grabbing coffee, so we got coffee together last week, and it was amazing. And I got to pick his brain. Like, got to thank him for letting us use the song and buy him a cup of coffee as a thank you, but also just to pick his brain about music and just to hear, you know, his journey into creating parts of the score for Stranger Things and being the sound mix engineer and, you know, taking his music on the road and the creative process there. And there was a lot of overlap with conversations you and I were having. And, it was really cool. And that's something I'm hoping to continue to do. Is just, you know, I'm just going to throw out my name into the universe basically and see like who wants to meet up. Like, I'm happy to get coffee, even if it's just to have a single conversation. But I think some of that stuff is gonna lead to more things, and just connecting with other creative people is something I'm prioritizing this year. And already it's been a huge payoff. It's so important for creatives, whatever you do, you know, whether you knit or whether you, I don't know, bake bread, or whether you know, if you're creating something, coding,
like even when you're getting into numbers and creating spreadsheets, like there's so many different avenues of creativity.
If you like reading, you know, like set an intention to find one or two other people who enjoy that, you know, and connect with them. And it's easier now than ever to find folks, online and who share those things, DM that person out of the blue. Like, that's been the through line of our friendship, right? Is the connection over this funny, strange fascination with severe weather. And it's blossomed into like one of the most important friendships like I've ever had.
Same here. And
we've seen each other through, a lot of stuff, a lot of different seasons and changes and ups and downs. And, I'm like, this is life. This is the meaning of life in so many ways, is like, for me at least, is to be connected creatively with creative people, and so that we can both be excited together and about our passions, and keep chasing that forever and ever and ever and ever, till the end. Like I never want to stop being creative. I don't think I will, but yeah. So you mean a ton to me, man, more than words. And
likewise, it was so funny. I just stumbled across, I don't even remember how I found it, but it's like I'm scrolling through old photos, and I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do. So you and I met we were employed by the same business. That's how we met. That's how we discovered, like, oh, you like tornadoes too. That was in Austin, Texas. And about maybe not even a year later, I think, is when my wife and I decided we were going to move back to Florida for a little while. We didn't know it was going to be temporary. We thought it was going to be permanent. And I was super depressed about it. Just like, oh man, like I finally met my people. But you and a few other fellow employees threw me a going a rave party. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
And you collected black lights and glow sticks, and I walked in and there was a rave going on in the office, and it was that was my farewell, and I was like, these people know me.
Absolutely.
And it feels good to be known. But it was just such a cool memory to come across. I was like, man, we've had such a crazy history, starting from that first chase we did together, through the going rave party to coming back, and Tornado Trackers becoming a brand, blowing up, reinventing ourselves with StormReel, and relaunching the podcast, like, and so much in between. Super grateful for you, man. And
likewise,
I'm excited that we're going to get to continue to do stuff together.
Absolutely.
Just in a different realm. It's the creative stuff. So it feels a little like we're teasing people, because we're not going to let them in on this. Like, this is our
right.
No, and it's just so cool to be able to have done this with you, and I think I'm happy with how we're ending it. I think we're ending on a high note. It feels like to me.
I think so too. Yeah. When we met up like maybe a year ago, and we're talking about relaunching the podcast this for this last season. We didn't know it was the last season at the time, but we were just chasing down that nugget, that spark. We were just being creatives, and we were like, hey, we're feeling this itch, this creative itch. Like, let's chase this thing down and take it as far as we can go. And it's like, it was a success in that regard. Like we creatively chased it down to its endpoint. And like, that's the creative life right there, in a nutshell. And it's a success because we did it, and because we created something at the end of the day, and we had no expectations of any results or anything like that. But that's just a huge reminder to me of like, just follow the thread, follow the inkling, follow the instinct, chase it down as far as you can go, and until the excitement runs out, then look for the next thread.
And part of the creative process, or really just life process, is realizing that the measure of success needs to be, you got to be careful with that. And I think that's something that I'm learning finally at 41, is just because something isn't successful with money or with followers or publication or anything like that, like the general markers of success, like doesn't mean it didn't have deep value for whatever comes next. And that's something I'm learning. Like, life is just a series of stepping stones.
Yeah.
And so it's not that something failed, it's that something prepared you for what was next, or something prepared you to realize like, oh, this isn't what's next. But yeah, I think everything is a series of stepping stones. Like that stone behind you that you leapt off of and were so excited to get off of that finally, like that was important for whatever is coming next.
100%.
And I think the podcast falls into that, and I can see how, what the things that I've learned through podcasting, the skills that I've gained through podcasting all play into whatever's coming next. And I've already utilized a lot of those experiences that I've had in different avenues. So I think
absolutely.
If we can encourage anyone who's listening, and you're considering making a leap or questioning where you are, like, don't negate the experience that you're having right now. It's important, and it'll prepare you for what's next.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. Like, the creative life it shows me about life that, like, life isn't like a series of problems to solve. It's about experiencing the experiences, for lack of a better word, and for growing as best I can and loving those around me and as best I can. And like that's what painting shows me, that's what podcasting shows me, that's what writing shows me. Like it's just like do the next thing that excites me the most, and see what happens. Just like you said, the results are, you can't even imagine what they could be. Yeah, it's wild. Like, I never would have thought we would have, I don't know, when we started being friends, that we would be at this point of like a third season of a podcast.
After coming off of having a storm chasing brand, like that's all stuff that just happened from putting one foot in front of the other. And in the midst of like the backdrop for a lot of this stuff happening was feelings of failure and not realizing what was coming next. I mean, how I even became full-time storm chasing was like at one of the pits of my life, and seeing how, if I only could, like, hindsight's 2020 obviously, but just seeing how that pit that I was in prepared me for stepping into my dream job, and helping me to appreciate what it was when it finally came. So there's no waste in your life. Like, it can all be repurposed and point to something better. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. It's not wasted if you share it with somebody, like, we were talking about that the other night, like that, the act of creation itself, of creating a piece of art or media or whatever, like it's just this basic human thing that we do to connect with each other ultimately at the end of the day, and to like explain a little bit of our inner world, and to help each other not feel so lonely. So, man, I mean, gosh, I don't know. I think we said it. I think we said the thing. We said the things.
How do you land the plane on saying goodbye?
And truly, right. You just got to say goodbye.
Well, I do want to say I'm so grateful for all of our listeners and supporters. You guys have been amazing. The notes we've gotten, the ratings we've gotten, and the feedback, the excitement behind the release of every episode, like that meant the world to us. I can't put into words what that meant. And it blew my mind to look at some of the analytics and to see all of the countries around the world on every continent other than Antarctica. Like, there were people listening to us, which blows my mind. Like, I wouldn't listen to myself, but I'm so thankful that other people did and they enjoyed it somehow. That was just so cool. And to have you guys along for the journey, that's meant the world. So thank you, everyone who's listening and who has been with us. And even if you've just found the podcast, enjoy the catalog that we have. Like this is for you guys. We did it to connect with people and to have nerdy conversations, but we're happy to share it with y'all and glad that you guys came along for the ride.
Totally. We're so thankful. We're blown away and thankful, and gosh, yeah, it's mind blowing. I haven't really wrapped my head around it yet. I don't know if I will. Yeah, it's incredible. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I'm a huge podcast listener myself. I listen to a whole bunch of shows, and it's wild to me that people, listen to us. But yeah, if you want to find me personally into the future, I post every once in a while on Instagram and TikTok, and in both those places, I'm at Jeremy Hayman Art, JeremyHamanArt. In those places, and I'm hoping to post more there and kind of be more active and show my creative life there. I want to put that out there and I don't know, just see what sticks. And so that would be awesome if you wanted to join along there. Can anybody find you anywhere, Gabe? Do you have any spots?
If they try real hard. I'm planning on keeping StormReel.com alive. I'm going to keep the YouTube channel alive, and it may morph into more than just weather. I'm still trying to figure that out. But, if I see anything when I'm out, I'm going to post it up on those places. And as far as personal projects and music go, you can follow at Gabe Cox on Instagram and X, and soundcloud.com/Gabe-Cox. Which even just putting that out there is the accountability I need to actually put music up and release it into the world, which is a scary thought, but I think I'm ready for it this year.
Absolutely. And we know the world is a crazy place right now, especially in the States. And we hope you and your loved ones are staying safe. And we hope you're staying sane to the best of your ability. Do whatever you need to take care of yourself and your family, your emotional and mental and physical well-being. Creativity for us is the antidote. We're lucky to be able to do that.
Make something beautiful. The world needs it.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, this has been StormReel. Thank you so much for listening again from the bottom of our hearts. It's meant the world to us to get to create and show it to you, and we deeply, deeply appreciate it. So this is us signing off for now. We love y'all lots.